Yes, indeed. Thank God it is Friday. Uh, Pour that smooth bourbon, if you will. What's going on, people? What is going on? Thank God it is Friday. Absolutely. Welcome to the show, Shadowhawk. We just had around 8 inches of snow. Howder 6480 says most of the snow had melted. Now it looks like winter again. Oh, that's not good at
Oh,
all. And it's
good.
probably
Yeah.
been about in the 80s here. I don't even know. It's been nice here.
I don't remember. Where's Helder at? Do you
Where
remember?
are you, Howder? You're up in Canada.
Oh, he's in Canada. Oh, shit. Yeah.
Hmm
Okay.
hmm
Yeah.
hmm Yes, and Winnipeg. Now,
Oh, Great
Winnipeg
White
is
North.
where Billy Graham's ministry was, wasn't it? Winnipeg?
You got me,
I,
dude. I'm not sure.
I think so. Am I not right, Howder? Do you know? I believe it was in Winnipeg. Yeah, his
Maybe.
main
I
ministry.
had no idea. I thought he was a down south guy.
I thought you were going to say Down syndrome, baby. I don't,
Nah.
just
Well, that too, but
yeah. Carrie in the house. Hello, Carrie. Oi, oi, Savaloy to you.
hey, Carrie.
That was weak. Greeting.
Oh my God, Carrie, how are you? It's been so long since I saw you. Oh.
I know. It's been all but a day, Yes, exactly.
Carrie's been posting some more paintings lately. Very nice,
Oh,
Carrie.
yeah? Okay.
Mhm.
Well, now, see, she's like, I don't know why you keep showing that one of Jesus. I like it. I think it's a good smaller canvas,
Yeah,
I'm
that
glad that
came out.
Elsie kind of inspired that. It's pretty cool. Um,
Think it came out
Now
pretty
that
good.
was over the top, almost fell off my chair. Well, just don't land on your knees. You don't need any more knee
Yeah.
damage.
Make sure you land on
Howder
your
says,
boots.
I'm not sure, but I know he did events here a few times. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Some reason I thought his main ministry was down south somewhere, but I don't know that much about
no,
it yet.
but he may have switched over the years. I mean, he was evangelizing back in the 40s,
Yeah, he's been around for a
most of
long
the
time.
20th century. Yeah.
Hmm. Didn't
Yeah,
he start off as just like a kid? I think, right? He was.
oh yeah, real young.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm
Hmm.
Probably in his teens at least.
Right. Right.
He was thin as a rail. You know. Um, and Franklin picked up the gauntlet right after him. It's got a great ministry with Sumerian Purse where they take shoe boxes and send like essentials to people in need, which is
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah.
That's cool.
It's been going on for decades now at this
Like
point. It's
little
really
care
cool.
packages of
Oh
different.
man, well, on disaster, they're there on the spot before FEMA is. But
Oh
then
wow.
who isn't?
Yeah. No shit.
Yeah.
And even if FEMA's there, they're not doing anything.
I think the new administration is probably going to defund a lot of that craziness, with this slow response,
Oh
to
yeah,
FEMA.
yeah.
Which, if you work for FEMA, God bless you. I guess you're doing a good
I
job.
mean, unfortunately, those guys are just working a job. They're taking orders from politicians. So
Mm. I got my troll down. I forgot to put him back up after I talked to Glenn.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I saw you were
I
talking to
like
Glenn
troll.
earlier. I didn't get to hang out though because I was busy. But
Right. I knew you were at work, but did you catch some of the interview while you were
I had
working?
like about 3 or 4 minutes, man. I had
Oh,
a real. I took a short lunch. We had all kind of shit going on in
it's
my damn
worth
building.
a rewatch. Uh,
I will go back and rewatch it tonight, probably.
Doc says if it's not live, it's not Memorex.
That's right.
You
Well,
know,
I actually
he doesn't
forgot
watch.
you were doing it early with Glenn. I was hoping he was going to be on with us today because I haven't talked to Glenn in a while. But that's all right.
I don't know, but Jim Carrey's if you kill him, he won't learn nothing.
That's right.
Same thing with Doc. That's fine, Doc. Don't watch. Hopefully you caught it and was listening while you work. But Doc, really, I don't watch it unless it's live. Okay, then you won't learn nothing. Because I had a great interview. We talked about a lot about Jack Kirby. We kind of keep slinging shots in comics,
Right.
and so you say Jim Lee, I say Jack Kirby. You say uh, Keith Giffen, I say Jack Kirby. I mean, it all slings shots. You say Neil Adams, I say Jack Kirby. You say Bernie Wrightson, I say Jack Kirby. It
And
just
I
because
say Bernie Rice.
I mean, so many people are tied into Jack Kirby. Without Jack Kirby, they wouldn't have a freaking job in
That's
comics.
true. Hail
You know,
Gable Penny
he
shot in the
made.
house.
I mean, comics could have very well died out in the '60s.
Oh yeah.
Before
I mean,
Marvel came along.
there's been a few times in comic book history that things looked like they may be coming to an end. So
I don't even watch Coffee Shop. Carrie says, "Do you watch Coffee Shop on replay?" I don't even watch Coffee Shop live, and I've told Doc that. I mean, I'll go in and I'll say hi, whatever, but usually it's at a time I'm asleep, and that's the reason why. If it was more at a convenient time on my time schedule, I would absolutely watch it. Doc's entertaining.
oh yeah, I like
Tries
that.
to be anyway.
I catch the coffee shop when I can, but it's normally on while I'm at work, so it's kind of
Hey, Andrea, God bless you is the Southern way of saying F you.
Hail, Andrea. Good to
Okay.
see you.
Streams midday on a work weekend is no bueno. Yeah, I got it, Gable. Um,
Bless
I,
your
I,
heart.
I, I'm not railing against Doc. I'm railing against his hard stance sometimes on some things.
Oh
I
wait, you just
never
discovered that Doc
watch
can be
anything
stubborn?
unless it's live. And I get it. A lot of people are like that. It's more fun, interactive. But when you got somebody with Glenn's knowledge and experience, and I think I do a fairly good interview, and I can pick his brain about Jack Kirby and other things of interest
Mhm.
because he's done so much. It's
Oh, yeah.
worth a rewatch. But your hard stance is if it's not live, I ain't going there. Okay, then you're going to limit. We covered the meaning of life. I'm not going to watch it. Okay, fine. Fine. Remain
Everybody
ignorant
knows
in your
it's
ignorance.
42.
Like Doc says, stay in your wrongness or whatever.
Yeah.
I bust him
So,
way too hard. I
so
love
you're
the
just
man.
now discovering that Doc is a little stubborn, huh? Takes you a
Well,
while.
it's that look, and maybe it's just me. I just think that's a holdover from military. Maybe not. No slight
Hmm?
to the military. It's just I and there was more than once that I really and my family is full of military, adopted side and actual blood side. Uh, you
Hey,
know,
Homer.
Uh, and there was many times. I mean, even when I was past the age, I thought of going into the chaplaincy and getting a waiver to go into the military
Hail, Justin
for a
Belmont in the
career.
house.
But I don't. I could have been signing my life away, doing something that I didn't want to do. Really.
Yeah.
And I just never liked the regiment. And I know it's not all that and the camaraderie and everything, and it sounds like a military. I'm not at all. I think I could have. I think I probably should have went in, to tell you the truth. At least for 4 years with some branch. Could maybe
Yep. Oh,
you know
hail, Apex Comics.
would have kept me out of trouble. When I
Yeah,
was younger.
yeah.
Apex Comics in the house. Justin Belmont. Hello. Pencils down, doing smashing, but can always do better. I just sent you my latest 2 paintings on Instarex. You inspired the abstract because I know you like all the different forms of art. Sunset with mountains I did earlier hours of the morning. Yeah, I think it's a good meditative too. Quit crying, Rex, Homer says. I sort of understand what Doc is saying. Gable Penny Shot says there's new streams every single day in this niche. It's got to be something real special to go back and watch it. Old stuff. I agree with that. There's so much content out there for sure. For sure. That's why I'm very appreciative to people that watch here every day. And, even when I stream outside my own time frame, which there's 4 Central every day to about 6 Central, and I still get viewers sometimes early in the morning. It's very humbling. I can still remember where I couldn't even get for a long time 10 people to watch. So I remember the days, and even on some shorter streams, it seems like my shorts don't do very well. You know, very few people watch them, but on rewatch and everything, I might get 20, 22 people on something that's really short. I know Gable remembers because I remember, and there's others too here, but drop and give me 20, where I give you 20 minutes of my time, no more, no less, and those never, and I think I did about 75 of those, about over 2 months worth of those, and every day, and it just didn't garner any traction really. Nowadays, if I did that, maybe. Rex will only get 10 people to watch. We are all still here. Laugh out loud. Omer got
Good to
us
see you, Omer.
clickbait. Rex's shorts. Yeah. Mhm.
Gotta love
Glenn Fleming. What is he, like hacking? Fleming is a special to go back and watch, though. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
we I like that. I knew the time frame going in that he was going to give me at least 2 hours, and we actually went over that. How long did we go? We went 2 hours and 47 minutes and 54 seconds. So about
Damn,
2:48,
hours. Yeah.
almost 3 hours. Yeah. And I think if you have an interesting conversation, people get swept up in it, and I take advantage of it. Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they just
And Glenn has led an interesting life. It's I love to hear some of the stories from the old days from him. It's pretty cool. Hail, Salacious Rum. Welcome, sir.
Phlegm in school. Yeah. I didn't want to type it out. Well, never let it be said that Omer Glitch is lazy.
That extra 4 letters.
I didn't want to type it out. Those extra letters. What the hell?
Damn kids today. Only shorthanded.
Lazy. But yeah, those early shows like that, I'd lay down and one thing Glenn said to me is, yeah, let's do it around that time. That way I can kind of come down off of it, because you are keyed up after something like that, you know. And his wife was right there when we were talking about hatch. She went and got the ceramic hatch and handed it to him. So I know she was listening in. Either that or she decided to. I think she was listening in, you know.
Yeah, she probably.
Oh, she was listening in because I think we, you know.
Glenn's wife is quite talented herself. So.
Oh yeah, yeah. They're building her a new studio.
Oh, are they? Oh, sweet.
Mm-hmm. One person laughing is better to me than 11 people.
Hey, Elsie.
Hey, Elsie. He keeps taking off his shorts. Yeah.
Why does he keep taking off
I
his
leave
shorts?
you a trail. You know, that little brand. Anyway.
Oh.
Anyway, tomorrow will be a busy day. You know, we've got the Rex X and Apex. We'll have Timothy Olsen popping in for about 10 minutes, but Omer Glitch, he's been on the Rex X and Apex show, but I don't think he's ever been our special guest. My first choice was Timothy Olsen, but he'll be working. And he said, I can pop in like on my lunch break for about 10 minutes, something like that. And I said, sure, fine, do that. You know,
oh, that's cool.
You know, we'll catch up on the latest of Melvin. It'll probably only take about 10 minutes to catch up on that anyway. So,
oh, yeah, I think he's moving along pretty.
Kind of like you. It's like whoops. I think he's kind of moving along. Okay. Baby, come back. Not lucrative, but important. You know, what are you talking about there, Andrea? What's not lucrative but important? What, money wise, sales wise, what? The Brown Trail. Yes, we love you, Omer. Yes. Yeah, but yeah, those early morning specials like that, or if I tend to do like I did with Omer, you know, a long draw stream, it can knock your whole week off. Omer said that. Absolutely. And so, but that's coming up on the weekend. So it is the weekend for some of us already. What am I going to do? I've already went out with Abby. We've already gotten our provisions for the weekend. I got some more of those white crystal, you know, frozen bites. So good. You know, $4 a bag at Dollar Tree. At this Dollar Tree out there's got one. This one here in town does not, or maybe they sell out quicker. But they're
Sorry about that. Don't know what happened there.
PBR in the house. Your camera looks great today. Well, you know, that's the way the internet and Windows 7. Who knows? With Windows 7, you never know what you're going to get.
AOP.
Finbat Volume 1 is now featuring in Bleeding Fool this week.
It's very cool.
This week. What is Bleeding Fool?
It's magazine. I think it's like an online magazine now, Rex. It's still
is it
kind
really?
of yeah. They just do everything online, I think.
Interesting.
That's awesome, Apex. That should get you some good exposure, buddy.
Yeah, and you ought to talk to Tokamai, you know, about featuring something on you, you know, in his electronic magazine as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Check out Finbat Volume 1 by Apex Comics on Fun My Comic. Glenn was doing like about bi-monthly or maybe quarterly. He was doing Comics Unlimited. And he's done 15 issues, and he said today he probably won't do any more. And I said, well, weren't you talking about combining like 6 issues here or this or whatever and read? And he's thinking about crowdfunding that, a bundle or something. You can get all his books, and he's did several on wide variety. I saw some today that I did not know he did. I knew last year he told me he was doing a book on soccer, and I said, wow, okay. Well, that's his second book on soccer. He did one about 20 years ago.
Huh.
So he showed me both of those. So if you want to know about his whole roster of what he's done, check out that interview. But I didn't primarily focus just on the books either. I kept coming back to that because that was my main reason to get him on. But we hit the ground running, and for almost 3 hours, we covered a wide variety of topics. I feel like, you know,
Yeah, no,
it's
that's
a
great.
website. Omer Glitz says. Elsie
Yeah,
says, "Thank you. It's Friday. I
it's a
discovered
website.
that 15 minutes ago." Apex Comics said, "The best art never gets funded." Yeah. Well, I mean, we looked at
Well,
Octopus Cowboy yesterday, and that's so. I think it was yesterday, or maybe the day before. We played the trailer.
maybe the day
You
before.
don't get much better than that, art wise, and yeah, you got to get out there and shield it to death, or it doesn't matter. I've seen top notch art, color artwork, and I've seen unprofessional not get funded, and I've seen not professional, just black and white, can't afford color, do very well because they have more of an online presence and
Yeah.
and connect with their audience and their core base. Uh, you can paint the Mona Lisa, and as long as it's out in the woods, isolated, and nobody sees it, it may be the greatest thing since sliced bread. But you got to get it out there, where people can go, "Wow, this is pretty cool," and you got to
Gotta
present
get
it
some
in a way.
eyeballs on it.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people invest in the person and not necessarily the project if
I'll
they
be right
believe
back.
it.
It's a little
Okay.
windy.
Mhm. Andrea, it's don't get funded enough. What does that even mean, Elsie? What I read it, I don't know what that means. Andrea, it's they don't get funded enough. What does that mean? What does it mean? It conveys no meaning to me. I do not understand. And I'm not that thick. I don't feel like. Maybe sometimes, some days. Uh, I know what she said, and I know what you said, and I still don't know what you're saying. Can you read? I sometimes the meaning is, it's they don't get funded enough, and maybe that's just what it means, that.
Yes. I mean, but again, like we've talked about, I mean, Jason, Octopus Cowboy is an amazing campaign. That's one of the best put together trailers I've ever seen. But he doesn't
Yeah,
do anything. He doesn't have an
yeah.
online presence, and I mean, you see where that gets you.
And Filmbat's got a great trailer done by Mr. Good Stuff,
Yeah,
and
that
with
trailer's a
animation
lot of
with
fun.
Pedro, and he took what kind of like Doc did my trailer with Pedro's and renewed the trailer, and
Yeah, I think
bring
I'm gonna have to hire Good Stuff to put a trailer together for me at some point.
yeah, yeah, he does a good job of it.
Either him,
Uh,
I don't know. I wouldn't mind Pedro either. I like his animation. Well, I don't know. I'll have to talk to these guys and see who's busy and who's not.
yeah, I get that, Gable. It's a silly concept too. Concept and pitch matters. Yeah, it is an off the, if it had lesser art and the trailer wasn't so good or whatever, I mean, you might go, but this has got top notch art. And I imagine I haven't gotten the first one, so I don't know, but it just smacks me of a quality, project. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a
I
wild
mean,
premise, but so
it
was
looks really
Teenage
well.
Mutant Ninja Turtles. When I read that title, I couldn't hardly wrap my mind around it, and I'd been reading for comics at that point for at least nearly a decade. And I
Yeah.
thought that was one of the craziest sounding titles that I had ever read.
Well, that was
Teenage.
my first question: is how do you get an octopus to be a cowboy? you know?
Yeah,
But I'm sure there's some kind of explanation, right?
by the book, and just from the trailer, I can tell he's kind of like abused and in a circus and got a harness around him, and
Hmm.
he's being pitted, I guess, like a freak show against a gorilla, a hyena, and
Yeah, I think that's how it starts off. He's kind of like captured or whatever,
gorilla.
and being forced to fight.
And then his blood changes them, and then you've got kind of like animals break loose. So I kind of get that from the trailer, and
Yep.
and then we did have him on once, and I wish we could get him on again. He's another one of those that's kind of reluctant and to come on, and I thought we just fawned over him because and we did.
Yeah, we did.
It's sad we can't get him back on, but I probably I respect when somebody says, I feel uncomfortable or this or that or whatever. And some people have, told me, I have ADD really bad or,
hey, Marcus in the chat.
There's some that I could tell you the projects and they just feel uncomfortable. I understand that. I do, and I'm not going to be the dentist trying to pull the tooth out. If they want to come on, they'll approach me, because I think we're very approachable. Marcus in the house, hello. Don't make a campaign unless you have the funds to ship it. That's why there's a funding goal.
This is true, and shipping costs aren't going down. That's for sure.
No, and they're not going to go down.
No, they're. I mean, we know how this works, right? It's only a temporary, price increase while we're having inflation or whatever. But the price never seems to go back down.
Gable says, and customers are paying the shipping costs, so that's no excuse.
Exactly.
Shipping isn't cheap, yes.
I mean, it's easy to screw up too if you don't charge enough shipping, or you promise too much little extras and everything else on the campaign, and now once you got everything printed, you discover, oh fuck, I don't have enough money to send these books. That's gonna be an issue. I mean, look at what happened to poor little Jimmy Reyes, man. Fucking.
Well, I mean, I don't know about that situation. I don't know exactly about why I couldn't get, from B Rose, his book, and maybe
I don't. That one,
maybe it was because there was more involved in that, the box and the standee and all those stretch goals.
Yeah, maybe.
But I thought it was a pretty nice bet. We had him on there, and that was the reason I bought it. Is we had him on. I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and I used to be in B Rose and those guys
held on to my money for months, and then he did refund me, but
I used to be in their chats and stuff quite a bit, and I've fallen off since I started co-hosting with you, but I still pop in and see him now and again, and I don't know what happened. B Rose doesn't even do his YouTube channel anymore. Not that I've
don't
seen.
They come on late at night?
Yeah, I guess it just depends.
Yeah.
Like I said,
6 a.m.'s later in the evening, probably when you need to go to bed and go to work.
Yeah, probably.
That's when I see them. The last time I saw B Rose was in their chat, and that's been a while.
Yeah.
But then I've not caught every stream of theirs,
well, there's a lot of streams that I just, I used to keep up with, and I just don't have time. I pop in when I can, but say hi.
It's really hard to assume the shipping costs correctly, especially overseas. Yeah, that's why I went with Critical Blast. Now, I know that Justin Belmont goes with Pirate Ship, and I think that might even somehow have better rates. I don't know. I'm going to check into that. Often buy stuff in which the shipping is more expensive than the cost of the product. Yeah. Don't make a campaign if you aren't willing to put yourself out there and push it, advertise it yourself, or pay to have it advertise it. Most don't have the funds to advertise it, so you had to do it. Yeah.
In other words, grab an oar.
Most crowdfunders are subsidized overseas shipping prices with U.S. orders. That's why I'm forced to pay $15+ shipping costs for a book, and there's still not enough. Let's see. It's tough when shipping is super high. I backed an independent singer from the state. CD plus shipping was 50
Awesome. Thanks,
pounds.
Els.
I supported the other independent singers, which charged similar shipping to comics at $20. Yeah. Yes, the first Finback trailer was produced by Pedro Ang, and the recent trailer was produced by Good Stuff and used portions of Pedro's graphics and added towards inspired 1960 music to produce it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what I did with, or Doc and I did with Pedro, the animation done for me by Pedro. So to get the most out of the animation, because frankly, on this, and he did that all pro bono for me for free. He was like, "Well, let's do you a trailer," So
Oh,
Doc kind
that's
of
nice.
volunteered that,
Yeah.
and
Awfully nice, Doc. Thank you, sir.
yeah, because I did not, have a trailer in mind. Here's a character I forgot about, and just on a little sliver of paper there, a little Western skull guy. I think I did some head sketches of him, or at least one. Need to get back and draw him again. Maybe I'll put him on a pog. He would look pretty cool on a pog. I need to do a Western character on a pog.
There you go.
On a round.
The Midnight
Got my neighbor to subscribe. Yes, thank you.
Well, you know what, Rex? I'm just thinking of it. You could take those the little dream catchers that who drew those? I'm forgetting now. Is that
Jay Krager?
Jay Krager. Those little circles, you could turn those like right into pods, dude. They're already in circular shape.
Mm-hmm. With your picture on it.
That's right. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah, you could. And that's a good suggestion, maybe, to do when I if I want to do some more or anything circular, like you said,
Yeah.
buttons, magnets, whatever. I mean,
yeah, it'd be easy just to grab one of those images and smack it right on a button.
Been giving some midnight some little bit of thought of late.
Yes, Carrie, you're absolutely right. Support the people you like and tell everyone about them. Talk to people.
Yeah.
Let them know comics are still alive. There's still good stuff to read out there. They don't have to put up with this crap that the mainstream's been shoving down our necks for the last 15 years.
Yeah, Omer, I don't know. You're charismatic. You can go out there and you can do it and you say no excuses. But there's some people that, yes, they do know to overcome their phobias and fears or whatever. And it ain't easy for some people.
It's true.
It's downright terrifying for some folks, but believe me, get out. The more you do it, the easier it should get,
Yeah. I mean, you get used to it, it's
you don't want to deal with people. Do it like I did, do it by yourself. For the very first 4 months, I did everything. And I say 4 months before I even started this 4 o'clock channel. I just talked on here and show collectibles and stuff. Now I've talked publicly and stuff before, so that helps, and I did prison ministry and things like that. And, so I've worked through a lot of the fears of speaking. I've been speaking in public since 2000. So 25 years. So
yeah, so it gets easier. It's not comfortable at first. I know I wasn't comfortable even just being on mic. I'm not even on camera, but you get used to it. You get a rhythm to it, and
Carrie, you're not the police of the chat, okay? I'm just letting you know. She's got, well, that was rude, and that's AD, and that's not offensive, Okay.
I'm sorry. Don't be chastising the chat. They'll work it out.
Well, I mean, she doesn't have to police everything everybody says, I mean, she's got her opinion. Let's leave it at that.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
I think that's a side effect of campaigns. talking a while to fulfill. Natural prices are going to go up if it takes more than a year to get something out. You got to sort of predict. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
Well, I
you
mean,
got to compensate. I mean, because God
yeah, I
knows what the
mean,
prices
since,
are going to be for shipping next February. You know, when I'm
yeah.
trying.
And for me, it's just like, I'm going to earn the money to ship everything out and get it out to people, whether I make a profit or not. So it's like, we'll get everything to everybody, you know? Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you're offended at that. Not
I'm sure
policing.
Omer
I
was
have
not
ADHD,
trying
and
to offend.
I've had it too. I suppose I don't like to say I'm this, I'm that. And somebody was saying, you know, when you invert things, you know, I've said that I invert things. That's a mild form of dyslexia. I don't like to label myself, and I don't think you should
Night,
let
Carrie.
others label you. And but I think, yeah, maybe, you know, identifying the problem, yeah, is part of the problem solving it too. Yeah. But Carrie, I know you could overcome yours. I mean, you know, hiding behind an icon, you know, but it's what you want to feel comfortable with, fine. And, you know, it's not like your goals are the same. But I have, when I first met you, you came on streams, you know, and so Carrie says good night all. So she's, you know, left in a huff. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Carrie.
Um,
Um, I don't know, dude. You know, I've never been super shy. But it was difficult at first. Just trying to, like I said, figure out the rhythm and all that kind of stuff. Get, you know what I mean.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, you know, I just don't want people. I don't know. Maybe I'm trying to police it, but it's like, you know, I don't want people to get offended. Especially Andrea is brand new to the channel, and I don't want anybody to run her off because of a comment. But
Exactly. I understand. And I'm sure that Omer did not mean any offense to Carrie whatsoever. He did not know her condition and whatever. But
oh, I'm sure, and I'm sure she knows that. You know.
I mean, you can't. First and foremost, you can't get that offended just because somebody says something. That's that. I'm sorry. That's not like rational human behavior. People are allowed to have opinions. You can't get all upset and everything else because somebody doesn't agree with you. That's just not the way it works.
Well, you definitely have to have a thick skin if you're going to be, you know, on the
Oh yeah,
internet.
for sure,
Quentin
for sure.
Tarantino's birthday yesterday.
Ah, how
Uh,
old is the old boy? He's got to be around my age, I think.
I don't think they said, at least, and I didn't Google it to see, you know, people with deficiency. Omer's, see, he's not giving any ground whatsoever. He just doubles down and says, you know, I'm right. And there is no, you know, whatever. Um,
Omer is
this
just
is a
fine.
lethal. This is over the amount of lethal dose of fentanyl. Apparently, that
Oh,
wild.
dude, yeah, it only takes a couple of little grains of that shit, and you're fucking dead.
Well, I thought it was more than that to kill you. So that
No, it's just, dude, it's a
kind of
teensy
puts
little
it in
bit.
perspective for me.
hmm That's why so
Yeah,
many
I know
people
you
been
weren't.
dying.
Rex says stuff every day that offends me, but I enjoy the pain. What's that say about you, Gable? Yeah,
No, it's all good, Omer. I know you weren't trying to offend Carrie or anything. Sometimes, Carrie
Carrie
takes
wouldn't
things a
want to
little
yell
bit
at him.
personally,
Take
and
your lips.
that's just
Yeah,
Carrie.
he's
That's just
already
Carrie.
left, so you know she may
Yeah.
be listening.
Well, she might be listening,
There,
but and
no
I
offense.
understand, Carrie, if you're upset, it's all good. If you're still listening, we still love you, and you can always come back.
Absolutely. And I hope she will tomorrow, you know. Uh,
Yeah, she'll probably get over it by then. Maybe.
I'm sure.
Oh Jesus. All right, Omer. Fuck. I just got an Instagram message from Carrie that says she's crying now. Oh my god.
Well, I mean,
oh yeah. I know.
Okay,
nothing we can do about it. All right, whatever. Sorry. Jesus.
My parents always said ADHD could be cured with a slap on the back of the head. I think that's what's wrong with me. Gable.
Okay. Wait a minute now. I plan on using you for an editor. How many headshots have you taken?
No doubt. This is a Western book by Scotty Young. So something about Westerns are in the air right now, and hopefully they don't burn it out to a cinder before I get to do my midnight. And I think a lot of people won't. I know, with Jonah Hex and stuff, maybe it just wasn't presented well. But I mean, I think it's real interesting that I came up with Midnight as a female character. I think that it's got that much going for it, that it's a female and Western,
Yeah, you don't have a whole lot of like big Western heroes or gunslingers or whatever that are female, in the normal realm of Westerns. So yeah, I like it.
Well, I mean, there might be some people go, "Wow, I like that artwork," and it's she's sexy, and might give it a try, and they might not have any interest in Westerns,
Right.
It's easy for I'll never forget, in the chat, when I was talking about Amanda B said, "We just want a story, a good story," was implied, right? We just want a story, a whole story. Okay, I'll give you a story. And you can do story in a lot of different genres. But will you buy it? That's the thing about it. Will it be appealing to you? I'm certainly going to try and make it appealing. I do think I know how to make it look appealing, visually. Having one of the best artists on it, in my opinion, helps. I think Kreger captured in that 2-page spread. Now we'll see how he does next time and next time after that, whatever, with the character. But if he draws her like he did on the 2-page spread, I'll be very satisfied, because I feel like he captured the essence of the beauty of the character, in his 2-page spread that he did on the drawn interior. Once upon a time, there was a comic writer named Rex. Marcus Killigrew says, "We need to not take things personal, especially online." Yes, that is one of the most freeing things that I have done. It is, don't take things personal. That freed me up in my mind, because you got to learn that in life. Don't take things personal.
Well, dude, I know some streamers that swear by they just don't look at the chat, because it fucks them up, because you got people screwing around, making jokes, and and all this kind of stuff, and it messes up.
Yeah, it's not done me any good while I'm trying to keep a straight face and do an interview and whatnot. But I don't want to.
Yeah, I know. But hey, it's the nature of the beast, man.
And I did a stream the other day. I don't know if it's a 4 o'clock shadow or what, but the guy was coming after me. He was just, I think it was an earlier stream, not the usual time, but he was just in there to be a spoiler in the chat, and I was like, well, if you're, you can always unsub to me if you're sub to me. And he said, "I never subbed to you.
I lost you right there.
Nor would I," or
kicked
whatever.
Again here, God, but
no, I hear you.
My right.
You're fine.
Internet.
I hear the birds in the background.
Oh, okay. I don't know what happened there. My phone just glitched on me for a second. Sorry. Mine always hangs upward, but usually I sleep hanging upside down. So.
Okay. All right.
like Grandpa, you know, in the
I saw
Munsters.
what you did to that dog yesterday. I'm just saying. Um,
What? What dog?
Nothing. You forgot the little clip, didn't you? Where you were pecking at his well, anyway.
Well,
Todd McFarlane did you know? Todd McFarlane is known for his commitment to meeting comic deadlines, and Spawn #4, The Battle Between Spawn and Violator, was shortened with 2-page spreads, big panels, and having the fight off panel by using sound effects to keep McFarlane's deadline. And here's some panels from that. So that was one way that he kept on schedule with Spawn #4.
A few little artistic tricks. There you go.
Mm-hmm. And
Hey,
people probably thought that was, wow, look at that. That's genius. That's artistic, and it was just to meet a deadline.
yeah. And Todd was just like, how can I get this done faster?
Necessity is the art of invention, especially coming off the dismal. And that's the only way you can say it, the dismal showing of the Image comics when they first came off. You never knew when it was going to come in. Some of the titles.
They had problems
They really
with being
shot
on
themselves
time.
in the foot.
Yeah, those first couple of years.
Again and again and again and again. I would usually buy what I wanted when it came in, but it was so infrequent. And when you're doing a monthly and it's a cliffhanger and it doesn't come in for, let's say, 4 months or whatever, then you kind of lose, you get what you deserve, I guess. Omer Glitz says, see, he just keeps on with the comments. I'm right, and this is the way it should be. I'd never take such a hard stance, but that's just me. I was literally a kid up until high school, so I know what it is to struggle. If it wasn't my mother pushing me to learn to read, I would be a moron. Yeah.
Well, Homer, I don't know if your mom succeeded there or not, but I'm just teasing.
Wow, I'm glad you said that, not me.
I'm sorry, buddy. It was there. I had to take it.
I know it's slow. I was deciding in my brain whether to say that or not, something like that. At the very same time.
Yeah. Thinking just slows me down. So
they're going to put that on my tombstone. Thinking just, yeah, that guy that was kind of coming after me, he was in the chat. He was like saying, he said a word and then he said, do you even know what that word means? So every comment was snarky and aimed right between the eyes, at me.
Right.
And I just kind of blew it off. We were at the end of the stream anyway, but you get folks like that in the chat that try and derail the show,
Yeah.
But
some people
it's like I'm smiling on the inside because he's commenting and all those foolish comments are just adding to my algorithm. So it's a win-win situation for me. All I have to do is ignore him and not take it personal.
There you go. What's going on? Neighborhood kids just ran by screaming bloody murder. I don't know.
Chef Andretti says, when it comes to physical media, I'm a bonus features junkie. I had never seen this movie. He's talking about Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter. I've seen that.
Oh, dude, this is such a good movie.
A Hammer horror movie about a vampire hunter. The title Captain Kronos made me think it was about space vampires, but without mathod, yeah, I don't know. What a treat to discover it in 4K. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a great flick. Oh.
Man, those 3D billboards in China are just pretty
Dude, some
off the
of them are pretty. Yeah, they're crazy.
That's like, don't know exactly what that
Some kind of killer clown
is.
or alien. I'm not sure what he's supposed to be. That's
Well,
crazy.
I don't know what that was trying to advertise, actually, but
I
maybe
no idea. But it looked cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it looked cool. It's definitely attention grabbing, and it looks like it tries to reach out and grab you. So yeah.
Yeah, pretty neat.
Dan Lawless throwing down some stuff of Conan that he did 30 years ago.
Ah. Hey, Mike. Good to see you, buddy. Mike
I don't know
Culture.
what Tank Ferret thinks sometimes. This is a new character by him. I don't know what. I'm sure he got the joke.
Oh, yeah, you probably haven't been keeping track of that, I'm sure.
Right? Maybe I inspired him with my Mayo talk. I don't know. Hey, Mike.
Yeah. No, do you remember a guy that calling his comic Niobe? I think we might have actually had him on like a year ago or so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in a big tiff now with CG apparently. So
wow.
another one having a meltdown. Yeah. So.
Well,
Hey, Walter.
I can kind of get, why some people are. I don't know. I've always tried to, CG maybe a little bit more abstract concept, and define it myself than rather than let it others define it, and
Yeah, I mean,
but
for me, CG is just all about supporting independent comics creators and all that stuff. The stuff that I love, and
well,
as
there you
long as
go.
people are going to be out there, making it, then I will support it. If people decide, that they just aren't making enough money, or they get frustrated and they want to walk away, there's nothing we can do to change that. So
a nice piece by Chris Winston, a Daredevil piece. Look at the
sharp,
detail in
dude.
that.
Yeah,
yeah.
that is
Now,
cool.
see, if you color that, it loses a lot.
Oh yeah, you lose a lot.
I guess it's all in how you color it, but I mean, I don't think something like that needs coloring, and I think even some of the Marvels could be cheaper price if they went to black and white and had black and white art like this. Come on.
Yeah, but see, the problem is that guys like you and me that appreciate black and white.
Well, most manga's black and white, right? And he's gone. In and out, in and out. I've had relationships where I didn't have as much in and out as this. Anyway, black and white is my favorite. Oh, okay. Well, you'll love Devil Flyer then. We use color very sparingly. It will be treated by the printers as a, color book. If you have any coloring in it whatsoever besides the cover, it's treated as a color book. Even the ads could, switch it over to color. Price. Victory Parade gas mask float from 1919 Chemical Warfare Office, New York, New York. Wow. How about that? A parade gas mask from 1919 parade in New York. Wow. I guess during World War One, they saw a bunch of those. Black and white with newsprint paper will save money for Marvel. Well, yeah. And they're big enough maybe to find a good printer that does newsprint. But the sad fact is Apex, it's hard to find any printers that will print and print well newsprint. Now, Peter Sameti's done it, but he really went through the ringer with several different printers, at least 3 or 4 different printers, to find somebody who could print newsprint. Most printing places does not do that anymore. So to say, well, we should go back to the way that things were, it just doesn't work that way. Or we should go back to the newsstands. Okay, tell me how. And why aren't they doing it? Because the world's moved on. And we're going to have to think up more innovative ways to distribute our comics than just say, well, we need to go back to this. I would agree, and I would get behind that. And I think they should be where young people can stumble in to a pharmacy or a grocery store and stuff. But is it going to happen? Probably not ever again. It's gone. Face up. Either that or, earn $1 million and make it happen. And I think it would take much more than $1 million. The distribution thing has totally moved on. Hey, Scarlett. It's a great thought, but if wishes were dreams, I'd be there. We'd be accomplished by now. But wishes aren't dreams. Somehow you have to make it a viable option. I really liked the option of that Kate from Orlando. But then again, you're dealing with these big distributing magnets, and I forget the ones that they said were supplied to the airports. Somebody's got a lock on that, and they're not going to want you. They're not going to give you space to get a slice of the pie. It ain't going to happen. If you had a monopoly, just like Diamond had a monopoly, and they didn't want to share any of theirs and lose, money by doing so, then, it's just they're not going to let you in the door. Somehow you're going to have to force your way in. I mean, and I forget who supplies all the airports. Maybe Shadowhawk will remember. Shadowhawk, do you remember when we were talking about Kate's idea to go to all the airports and somebody said, oh, such and such supplies the airports with magazines and stuff, the distribution of that, but I can't remember who that was. I don't think it was Scholastic, which is all through the educational,
right. No, I don't think it would be Scholastic. It might have been Diamond at the time. I don't know.
It's not Diamond. It's some other big publisher, Penguin maybe, but that doesn't sound right. And they do mostly novels.
Didn't Penguin take over a lot of DC's stuff?
Yeah, they did. Yeah. And that was after the pandemic, and they were like, oh yeah, that hit Diamond really hard. And it didn't take much, just a few months to almost topple their monopoly. So
yeah,
and let's face it, their business model is not the best. I mean, buy 50 of this to get this one.
Yeah, to get one special.
That's the collector's niche that we need more readers, more dedicated readers, but we have to make sure that it's the most exciting thing on the planet. So yeah, once I get a good foundation, I'll be churning out more. I'll definitely be churning out more product, more books.
Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of learning everything too. It's not just like you can just walk out and publish a book. Just willy nilly. You got to figure out all the different steps and deal with printers. And,
well,
a lot of shit.
Well, you know what? If I was I'm just not made like that too. Like some people, or it's like, yeah, just throw them something, and it's like, nah, I don't do that. I can't do that. I'm never just going to throw you something to get something done. it's going to be good or I'm not going to put it out, and I feel like there are some people out there that are like, yeah, do this, that's the best I can do, if that's truly the best you can do. But
well, and maybe you're not quite there yet.
If it's not a challenge, you're not doing your best.
Yeah, exactly.
The challenge has to be there, I feel. If you're just willing to put out whatever to get some stuff out, yeah, you're half-assed doing it, and it's probably not going to be that great anyway.
No, and you may actually even see some success if for a little while.
Yeah,
until people realize that there's no substance to your story.
Yeah, it's the new factor. Oh, and they're willing to give you a chance, and
wow, I'm sorry.
Oh, it's been windy here too. Yeah, when I got out earlier, it was windy for a while. And that pollen and blowing the dust, it looked like a haze, not smoke, but just almost the dust bowl out there. Very dry because of the high winds that have been around, and we've gotten very little rain, and I'm fine with that. Everything's green and budding right now and everything, and I guess we could probably use a rain, but my yard usually stays hard anyway. It's like a clay dirt, and I've got bare patches. They're mostly in the backyard. I don't.
Yeah, my yard is just mostly weeds.
Yeah. Well, there for a good year, maybe longer, I had a weed service come out and do their thing, and they would even fertilize, before the winter and all like that for yard treatment. But it's just too expensive to do that and not really needed, and they're actually killing some, stuff out of the yard I wish they wouldn't kill, out of the yard, like dandelions. Dandelions don't bother me. Actually, the dandelion is telling you that the earth is too hard and compact in that area, and it's got that root system that's trying to break that earth up, and they're one of the healthiest things you can eat. If I'm out in the wild and I'm starving, I'm gathering up every dandelion I can find. And I don't think I've ever eaten one in my lifetime, but I would sure eat one if I was hungry, because they're very
good. My grandma used to make dandelion wine. Have you ever tried that?
I have not. No, I'm not. Like I said, I've not tried dandelion anything, I don't think. I know some people make salads and things like that.
Well, I've had the greens of them before, like in a salad. They're actually pretty good. Mm-hmm. You don't want to eat the fluffy part.
I was going to ask you earlier, what book, and often you know, or you don't know. I don't know. Maybe this, because you kind of deviated from norm last week on your channel, which you are trying to build. And if you're not a subscriber to Shadowhawk, the link is down in the description. Most days, I would say every 4 o'clock Shadow has his link as well as mine to my campaign. Those are the 2 must links there. I always try and direct people over to your channel, as you know. You're doing book reviews of the different projects you've backed in the last years, several years. What's going to be your book review this week, or can you tell me?
This week we are finally getting back to Beyond the Stars from Roland and Silverline Comics. The past couple of weeks I'd had him scheduled, but Doc's project came in last week, and I wanted to really hit that while it was hot and it was just getting delivered.
Yeah, Roland's one creator I've got to get back with. He had asked me about the time. Well, I guess he's been asking me around since December, maybe November, about.
Oh, he wanting to come back on?
Well, not necessarily him, but maybe him with another creator, or getting with that other creator to put something they had going on. And I just, and I've been back and forth and there for a while. Like I say, it must have been December, because December was when I was kind of off up and down on the StreamYard, maybe even going over to your channel for that
Right,
couple months or whatever. But yeah, I've got to get with him and see what's up if they're still wanting to promote whatever. So
cool. Yeah, get a hold of him. Roland's a good guy. I like his. I mean, they're basically Silver Age, right? Silverline. I mean, they kind of fall into that Silver Age storytelling and artwork kind of vibe, which is
well,
really
I
cool.
don't think that's what they're talking about with Silverline Comics, though, is it? They're not
I don't
consciously
know.
trying to do Silver Age type comics.
I don't know.
I never kind of got that from their stuff.
I don't know. I just kind of put it together with reading books and stuff that the silver lines that I've gotten. They remind me a lot of like the stuff I used to buy back in the '80s and whatever.
Well, I mean, but Silver Age books were back in the '60s, so I'm not getting the connection here. Because yeah, they started in the '80s.
Well, I'm
Like,
not gonna argue with when the age of everything fucking starts. Whatever. Okay, so maybe Bronze Age then. Whatever. Okay. So
okay, yeah, I
I
mean, they definitely got that '80s type thing
yeah.
because that's when they
Okay.
started,
So
and
that's
that's when I
not Silver
started.
Age. I
That's
don't
when
give a
I
shit.
started buying their stuff. Yeah, I call that the Copper Age. Some would call that maybe the Modern Age. I don't know, but yeah, there's Golden Age and Atomic Age, and even before that, Platinum Age. I mean, who determines this thing? Sometimes I think it's Overstreet price update,
Hail, Scarlet Fever. Good to
or
see you,
got
dear.
or book.
And Andrea, yeah, normally if Rex and I are talking about a book, it's going to be a comic book unless we otherwise specify. So,
Yeah, and these are like different campaigns that he's and you're trying to go in alphabetical order, but you kind of detoured last week and did Doc's book, right?
yeah, I skipped ahead a little bit. I'm in the B's, but I jumped on the D's for a special show for Doc.
And
And
that was
it's
the
it's
first Pariah Blood and Mud. Now, have you received the
no,
second book?
that was a damn dirty thing. That was the second book.
Oh, damn dirty thing. Did you do Pariah Blood and Mud?
Yeah,
You did.
that's why I told you I've got an extra tapestry. I'm going to send you one of uh
Golem.
the Golem tapestries so you
Yeah.
can have one for your shower door there.
Yeah. Yeah, I put it on the shower door, and then when I get the bog one, which that's the only reason I produced that, was Doc said I would like to have a bog. Of course, he did the artwork to it, so
Yeah,
uh,
of course.
he would like to have a bog tapestry. So I'll make sure he gets one. Of course, or Dark Gift. We're going through Dark Gift Comics with that, so we're actually
Right.
going through another comic book distributor for that. So putting people to work that
There
want
you
to
go.
work. You know,
Supporting the community.
I mean, I can't
Everybody.
buy every project, and neither can you, but I can certainly put some people to work. And I do support. I've supported quite a few books. I've got well over. I'm probably approaching a long box
Yeah.
worth, which I
That's a
know to
pretty good
you
amount.
it's nothing, but it's a
Well,
lot.
I dove in feet first back in 2018, and I was backing everybody. I mean,
Hmm.
if you were coming into CG and you were trying to get a book out, I was going to back you no matter what because I was just happy to see that people were out here doing it. You know,
Right.
as
Right.
time has gone on, I've had to get a bit more particular. Luckily, I haven't been screwed too many times. Only a couple that I can think of. Um, but everybody usually ends up getting their campaign out, whether it's maybe a little late, but I guess I've just been pretty lucky. I don't know.
All right. The internet's crazy. Look at this.
What's that? What the fuck? That's fun.
I also saw JD Vance, and he was doing Trump makeup, and it was like he had a bag of Cheetos there, was putting the orange Cheeto dust on him.
Was it AI or something?
However
'Cause I
they
don't.
did it, Photoshop
Yeah.
or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hadn't seen that one yet. That's funny.
Yeah, they the person that kind of put that back up there, he was like saying the only leftist type meme that I found really funny, and I've got to admit it was a little humorous,
Right.
that Cheeto dust probably doesn't come off for a while.
Yeah.
Stains the old fingers.
Yeah, it'll linger
Here's
for a little while.
here's Del Keown doing a character that I really adore, which is the
The
Thing.
Thing,
Fantastic
yeah.
Four. Look at that.
Damn. Fucking
It
Dale,
looks like if
man.
he landed on you, it would probably hurt.
Oh, yeah, like he probably
Some
squashed you like a
gravitas
bug.
to it.
Yeah.
Does book mean comic? Unsure of the definition. Yeah. We're in the momentum age now. I like your thinking, Gable. I like your thinking. And I hope we can do like audio books. I hope we can do, combination like with Midnight. I'm proposing to do like a pulp, which is mostly text with chapter artwork, but then
Hey,
combine a
Phil,
comic book in it.
I'm
Hey,
assuming
Phil.
that's you, Phil. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I always assume it's Phil that if it comes up Zaid Comics. Yeah. I'm not even
Brandon.
sure.
I don't think
I'm
Brandon.
not sure what his brother would come up under.
I don't know. Yeah, I usually if you see Zaid in the chat, it's usually Phil.
Mm-hmm.
What up, my Chicago brothers?
When you say usually, has it ever been not Phil?
Well, sometimes it's Phil and Brandon together. So I mean, that's.
Okay.
I don't know, but usually it's Phil. So
Eric and Boyd in the house. Hey, Eric.
I think Phil's the more outgoing of the two brothers, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hail, Eric. What's happening, buddy?
Psycho Slumber, absolutely. Howder. Thank you for dropping that link. Go check out.
Yeah, that looks really good.
Psycho Slumber over on Indiegogo. Indiegogo. Why don't I just bring that up? Why don't I just be nice and bring that campaign up and let's see where it's going?
Yeah, why don't we show the boys a little bit?
I did the other day. I know they're doing fairly well with that.
Holy crap, we got a wild Dillard sighting in the chat. Hello, Mr. Dillard. Good to see you,
Psycho Slumber, yes. Dillard draws, yes.
Dillard.
You want
Bro, I don't know if you saw my review of your Buckler book or not. But.
Yeah, that was maybe one of the first ones you did, right? As far as
it was like the first 3 shows, dude. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Psycho Slumber, Lost Pages, Kill Journal crossover. I love the crossovers within the indie. They don't happen enough actually. $8,435, 161 backers. Let's watch the trailer on WSD.
Why, yes.
Why, yes.
Well, yeah.
In the dead of night, on the outskirts of Chicago, the line between reality and imagination blurs. And in the moment before you doze off, Simon wakes up.
Now we know why Dillard's out there. He is the one doing the narration. That is.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. If it's fucking Dillard doing the voiceover, no wonder he's pumping this thing up.
No wonder he's pump up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume, dance.
Up to play. He'll seep into your sleep and turn your wildest dreams into your final nightmare. From the worlds of the Kill Journal and the Lost Pages comes this year's most horrifying comic crossover, Psycho Slumber. When the undead is in your head, it will take more than heroes to put it back to rest. You will need survivors. In Simon's world, The rules are his own, and the only way out is to play his game. This winter, Simon says, "You're next."
I can tell that's right up your alley, Shadowhawk.
Yeah,
You
it looks
like that
cool, man.
horror type.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
I
love the
like I
horror.
like the crossovers. One of the first books that I was a crossover with 3 different properties. One of Preston Acevedo's books, you know, with they did a crossover
Oh,
with
okay.
Six Gun Gorilla and someone else. I don't know.
Oh,
They
yeah, I heard about that one. I didn't get to back that though.
really, I got a few that you don't have.
Yeah, I think I was just
You,
really,
yeah,
really broke when that campaign was running. I had some catching up to do on some builds.
yeah, yeah. I get it. I get it.
Sometimes life gets in the way.
I have not checked my campaign today, so why don't we check my campaign? We did get another backer the other day, so we're up to
Was it
another contributor. Thank you for all your
1647?
help. 68 backers, $4,132. The campaign is not dead yet by any means.
Woohoo!
More artwork from John Dillard to come to be shown on the campaign. More from Jay Krager to be shown on the campaign.
Yeah,
We've got
Apex. I think it is. If you look it up on Indiegogo, I believe it's still in demand.
it's still in demand. Yeah, we played the trailer yesterday for it. I can play it again, or we can check in with that campaign. It is up over $5,000, 5,000
Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah,
five
but
or
as
six
good
hundred
as this
dollars.
book looks, it should be a 25 or 30. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you're not going to get any argument from me. I mean, whatsoever. Yeah.
uh,
Wish it was doing a lot better. You know, it is doing better than the first campaign, which I'm glad, you know.
what?
But yeah, a book of that quality, you would think. It is a wild premise, like you know, an octopus in the old west riding a horse and
Right.
blah
Well, I
blah.
mean,
But
yeah.
it's no wilder than say Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or anything like that. You know?
Right. Or radioactive black belt hamster. I mean,
Yeah, that shrimp book. You've seen that shrimp book.
Oh yeah. What was this? Atomic Shrimp or whatever it's called. I
Is
forget what
it
that one's
called?
called.
I don't think it's called Atomic Shrimp, is it?
No, I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong. Something shrimp.
I think it's titled Shadow's Peen. It's a very small book. Anyway,
Wow. All right.
I know.
Uh,
I didn't mean to step on it. At least it was big enough for me to step on. I got to get my jabs in where I can, folks.
Come over there and leave a mushroom print on your forehead, mister.
I know, right? Now, see, any other time. Anyway, trust me. We looked at it the other day. It's like at about 5,600 something. You know.
Yeah. Nowhere near where I think it deserves to be. But again,
yeah. If you need the link, I'll find it for you, Apex.
If you don't want to put in the work and do what you got to do.
Yeah, I mean it's been out there a while, but now he fulfilled the first one. He'll fulfill the second one. I'm fairly certain. The level of artwork, I mean, it takes some time to produce that, and I think he's working on it all himself, isn't he?
I think
it's
so.
been a while since we've interviewed him. He was in the Philippines, right?
Oh,
I think so.
I think so. Yeah. That's where you always get confused with Marv.
The time difference.
Well, no, because Marv is Marv is in Portugal, I believe. So.
Portugal, and I always want to say Peru.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, It's hard to keep all the track of these international friends we're making, but I try my best.
As we all do. Tom Tuttle's book, and that will be over on Hex's channel. He's already lined him up to be on the Rex X and Apex show. We will be doing a Rex X and Apex show with me hosting tomorrow. And we have an Apex After Dark at 8.
You guys are gonna stream right
Central,
over top of me. All right,
8 p.m. Central. So we will be doing an Apex After Dark too. And of course the 4 o'clock shadow. But yeah, 7 amens before sundown. Another Western with the vampire bent to it. 127 backers right now, $5,090. So they've cracked the 5,000 mark in a very little bit of time. Raised in 13 days. Not bad for 13 days work, I guess.
No, not bad at all.
Yeah, with a Graham Nolan cover, which is
and
hard to pick up.
Looks like it's going to be a good book too. So
I think it'll be wonderful. Yeah. We shall see when it comes out. We shall see. I don't know. When I and Apex talked to him, we didn't ask him how much of the project was actually done. So I really couldn't tell you how much of the actual project is complete.
Right.
Phenomenon number 2. That's another one. Patrick Quinlan. We probably have not talked about enough, but so 38 backers over there on Fund My Comic, $1,831, 37% funded, 57 days to go. Let's watch the trailer.
Sure. Awesome, Eric. I love it.
I know he's been all over the place, promoting that,
Oh yeah,
I
he's
think
been
that's
making
the
a
first time we've actually played that trailer and taken a look at this campaign. We had him on for the first one, I think, toward the end of his first one, and then he dovetailed and went right into this one. So
and I'm pretty sure I backed the first one. I don't think I backed this one.
That was the Russians. It was kind of like the Red Dawn scenario, wasn't it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It did look intriguing.
Yeah, I'm looking forward now to Sim's new book, Hellzone. That looks like it's going to be a lot of fun.
Wow, here's a picture I've never seen before. Check this out. Ronald Reagan with Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn, and I guess their son. That's back in the day, huh? Look at that.
Yeah, it is. Look at Kurt Russell's hair, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah. And that was in the 80s, I'm sure, probably when he was president. But wow, you go see the president in your blue jeans. I don't know where they're at there, so they might be a fundraiser.
They might have just run into him somewhere or something.
Casual, But yeah, he's definitely can grow that mustache like he had in Tombstone, right?
Yeah.
He could
But
have he could do it. He
the
could do it,
crazy thing
huh?
about him and Goldie is they've been together for years and they never got married, uh,
Yeah, one of the
which is a
few.
smart move, especially in Hollywood. You know.
Yeah. Huh. Shacking up. So Shadowhawk recommends shacking up.
That's right. I highly recommend it. Me and Mama Hawk have been shacking up for nearly 19 years. Wait,
Here's another
2000,
couple that
yeah,
was
it'll be
together
19
for a
years this
long
year.
time. Fred Gwynn. Yeah, he had that laugh, huh?
Yeah.
She was hot. And also appeared in um the Ten Commandments. Remember, she was in
Mm,
that. She was.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I always liked Morticia better myself.
Yeah.
From the Addams Family. She's gorgeous.
Well, I mean, they're both kind of the same at the
They're
same time. They're
similar.
similar, but they're different. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
They're
just don't
comedic sort of, yeah.
yeah, but just I don't know. I guess Morticia's, just her look was always more attractive to me, and where Lily had more of the, you know, like kind of 70s almost makeup with the green eyeshadow and all that kind of
Yeah.
stuff going
I
on.
see. I disagree because I prefer her looks. I just preferred her as
Well, so
her
we'll just have
as a.
to agree to disagree.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well, it just goes to show you, we all got different, you know,
Exactly. We all have.
uh, different value of what we consider beautiful.
Of course. And that's why everything in art is subjective too, right? I mean, because it just depends who's looking at it.
Here's the question for you. How do you think that Trump is going to age? They say a president ages about 10 years for every year he's in office. I think Trump's going to come through this fairly well. I think he's still going to, definitely getting older. But I
Yeah,
think
bro, but
he's
he's
probably,
he's yeah, he's still got a lot of energy, a lot of vitality. I don't think this is gonna put too much of a hurt on him.
yeah. But usually I think he's probably used to the rigors and stress of business and whatever,
Well, yeah, he's a
right?
freaking billionaire. He's been kicking ass for 35 years in business in New
Mhm.
York of all places, which all the shit you got to deal with there.
Well, I know
So,
that he's taken off time to golf, but that's not anything. It seems like every president does play golf, since
bro,
Eisenhower.
fucking Biden took more vacation days
Oh,
than
I
any
know.
president in history.
If he
It was
takes a
like
crap, he's going to be criticized. You know that.
he had like 800 vacation days, dude. Out of 4 years,
I
that,
know.
that
I know.
that's
I
over
know.
2 years worth of vacation days.
And a lot of that was covering for him as well. Well, he's busy
Hmm.
doing this when he was probably just sit back taking a nap.
Well, they had to coddle that pudding brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was nothing there hardly to, consider. He was pudding
Oh,
brain
what's
for
that that
sure.
fell on the floor? Oh, that's just my brain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's really sad that we even allow that, and I think that the last couple times that I went into the bank, they've had on Fox News, and
Really? Wow.
it was Bernie Sanders talking in Utah, railing his communistic, viewpoint, and I was like, "You're irrelevant. I hope you die on a stick like Vlad."
That dude ain't never worked a day in his life. He's been in politics
Right.
his whole life. He's gotten rich through politics. I could
He
care less.
honeymooned in Moscow.
I could care less what that asshole has to say about anything.
Exactly. And so I'm like, yeah, just go ahead. And they put some knuckleheads from the Democratic Party that I've never and they were speaking out on Doge, what they were doing with that.
Yeah, complaining
so
about finding government waste. That makes a lot of sense.
they've got to retort, they've got to tear down, what's being done vehemently. And yeah, Fox is covering them, and I'm like, this isn't news.
Was it really the Pope,
giving
Eric,
these Democrats a platform to spread lies and whatever.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give them the time of day, but that's just me. I'm all for free press, but and there's a place for that, but and Fox News lost my business a long time ago when they were,
Yeah, well, they they pretended to be conservative for a few years
right.
there, as they were leading into the left agenda.
They would like for you to believe that they're impartial or whatever, but they're not. When you're calling the Arizona race, when less than 1% of the vote is in, and you're calling it for the Democrats,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, the fix is in, and I don't want to listen to you. And they lost a lot of viewership at that time. A lot of them went over to Newsmax and other places like that. And good, it's
I don't want
new ownership, and they've been on a downward slant for a while now. They may have their
well, we used to have a really good conservative radio station from right out of Chicago here, and the last couple of years, man, I don't know, they've been hiring these fucking new hosts and shit. I just don't listen to them anymore. If I'm gonna get news, I get it off my phone.
Yeah. Well, it's sad to say, but I probably paid less attention to politics. I paid more attention to the lead up to the election. It was like after the election, I really just have not paid that much attention.
No, because you don't have to, because Trump is going to do what he said he was going to do. That's the fucking difference between most presidents.
Yeah, I am breathing easier. Let's put it that way.
I know.
Eric Weathers says your books are here somewhere. Let the fulfillment begin.
Woohoo! Hey, Eric! I can't wait to get my one-of-a-kind cover. Yeah.
And that's the Mighty Battle Brick.
Yeah, sure is.
Mm-hmm.
Battle Brick Road.
Now, where did you back that at? Was that?
I think it was Indiegogo.
Was it Indiegogo? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know he has his own website as well.
And it might have been through his website. I don't remember for sure, but I know I jumped on this one pretty early and backed it pretty heavy. So.
Do you have your own Svengoolie glow in the dark action figure?
No, not yet. But I do want to get one.
Have you seen this?
Mm-hmm. That's from Super 7.
The first time I've seen it. Okay.
Yeah, they do. They've got a Vincent Price. I think I got that last year. I showed you that one.
And they have a YouTube channel, I know, where they play, their shows on there. I think I'm subbed to them, but I rarely watch anything. I really hate that they kind of break in and interrupt the movie, from time to time. Of course, they do part of that to do an interview with somebody that had to do the making of the movie, whether it be an actor or actress or whatever.
A little behind the scenes.
Yeah. Here's Julian Glover. He turned 90, and you were like, oh, he looks familiar. Here he is in the early days. I had mentioned he was in The Crusade with the first Doctor, and this is pre having his nose job. You can see his nose was bigger at the end,
Yeah, it was a
bulbous.
lot more smoothed out.
He said
Is that
after he had it bobbed, his mother knew immediately.
is that Doctor Who right behind him there to the left,
Yes, the
or
gray
over
haired
his right
gentleman.
shoulder?
Yeah.
With yeah,
That's the first
that's
Doctor.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah. That's the Crusade. It's a lost classic, but there is the audio to it, and they do have at least one, if not two episodes. I think two episodes that still exist. It's only a 4-parter, so half of it's missing. But
Oh, that is such a shame that happened to that Doctor Who show, man.
they'll eventually probably animate those two.
I mean, that's really the only choice they've got at this point, right? I mean, because so much of it got destroyed. There's no way to recover it. You got to animate it, Or
this is so awesome. I love a good Ben Grimm piece.
I suppose they could relaunch, right?
Bill Sienkiewicz piece here.
Nice.
I like it.
Wait a minute.
That's a cool thing.
I don't see a cigar. Damn it.
It's clobbering time. Well, he doesn't always have to have the.
I know. It's always better when he does.
He does. Yeah. I did a painting of him, and he's got a cigar in his mouth. I think that was a late edition, but yeah.
This is what I need.
Apparently, they make these racks, comic book racks where you can put slab books on there. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they have like adjustable shelves and stuff where you can expand them.
Well, this one's actually kind of like a spinner.
Yeah, I
for
see
slab books. For key issues.
But the thing about a spinner rack, dude, is you got to make a heavy base for that sumbitch.
You do, yeah, or it'll topple, and then you got a disaster on your hands.
You got comic books all over the floor.
Yeah. Or you can go with something like DC Comics is doing here, with the, that's kind of nice.
It's all right. I'm not real fond of it, though.
It's all right. I mean, yeah, it's not a permanent thing.
It's cardboard, eventually it's just going to, fall apart, especially if you keep any weight on it.
I got to thinking, if I do put your tapestry over there, then I can't really put this over there, which was kind of the ideal, to put this up over there to fill that space, because it is quite tall.
Doesn't that shower have a double door, Rex? We're just looking at one.
Yeah. There's
so you could move the
there's
shelf
3
right
sides to it. Actually, here's one side. There's 2 sides, and there's 3.
Yeah. Oh, okay. It's a triangular, a little corner unit.
Yeah. Look here. See there.
I've
got my big screen TV there. So
you just got the single door. I thought it was a sliding door.
There's some of Elsie's paintings up there, and some mine.
Yeah, we don't get to see that corner of the room very often.
You do not, no, because it screws the camera up for a while, and you don't see over. I'll have to go opposite now. You don't see over here either.
Over your right shoulder, Rex.
Huh?
Was that a TV I saw over there?
Yeah, that's a 50-inch big screen TV.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
From 1995. It's got a boomer. That's a piece of furniture. That's not just a flat screen.
TV. That's old school.
It's big cabinet.
I had a 60-inch back in 95 when I first moved in my house down in, or 94 actually, when I bought my house down in Houston. And that was like the biggest one you could get at the time, and it was on sale at my local whatever place. And I was like, yep, want that. Give me the surround sound.
Well, before I married my second wife, she said, hey, you got good credit. Just go to JCPenney's and pay it out and get you a big screen TV. And I'll tell you what convinced me to get a big screen TV. Or a decade earlier, I wanted a big screen TV because I saw the Cylon ship coming down and firing and on the big screen TV, the ads for that. And it's like, oh, I wish I had a huge, I'd love that. I'd play Battlestar Galactica with that.
Well, dude, you know what? Now I just bought one for Mama Hawk because I didn't know what else to get her. And she said she wanted one for her birthday. They've got these little digital projectors that you just Bluetooth right to your phone, and you can play any fucking movie or whatever that you want, and you can hang as big of a screen or whatever. And it's HD quality, dude. It's fucking cool.
I forget what part of the house it was, but there, I have my ex accountant. She had like a high ceiling room, more than 12 feet, way more than 12 feet, and she just had like a white wall there, and that's where they projected, and that was their theater.
Yeah, if you got a nice smooth wall, you just paint it bright white, and you can project on that all day.
Yeah, she had they had a nice house, for her having 4 kids, and she could, but she had a good job. She busted, but it was a stressful job. Now I think she's totally out of accounting. Raises cattle with her husband, whatever, that she kind of married late in life. I think
you know me.
I think he's a keeper. I think she's like her 6th husband. So she went through those husbands. But
one
of the nicest people you would ever.
She was looking for the right fit.
I get. I don't know why I even try some days. But I'm a sucker. Keep coming back for these more and more. Sure, let's go there. Why not?
Indeed.
Why not? Indeed. We haven't had any lizard representation. I don't know if this would this be lizard representation? Kind of looks armadillo-ish. An armadillo is not a lizard.
Yeah, it looks a little more rat-like, but with armor on it. So yeah, armadillo.
It does kind of look rat-like, doesn't it?
Yeah. I don't know if that one passes. I don't know if that passes.
It'd be a
smell test.
Its tongue almost looks like a slide.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. Hold on. Oh, you took it down.
You want me to bring it back up? Okay.
Yeah, bring it back up for a second. I'm gonna blow something up here. Oh, okay. That's just a little arm and a hand off screen where the tongue comes down right to that left bottom corner.
I
thought that was like a little vehicle or something, like trying to ride his way.
It's a hand, yeah.
It's a hand and an arm, yeah. But dude, at regular screen size, I can't tell what that is. It looks like it's a motorcycle.
Yeah, I get it. There's a lot going on in that piece, but
yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah. And don't ask me the artist name. It's some, Chinese name or something.
Hey.
And I don't even speak,
It's Bing Tang Ao.
I don't speak good English, much less anything else. I've not seen a Dan Jurgens and Bill Sienkiewicz art team up before, but this one from Batman 568 looks amazing. Wow, I haven't either. It is amazing. Check that out. So Dan Jurgens on the pencil, but with Bill Sienkiewicz inking.
Oh, damn.
Embellishing. Yeah.
Dude, that's nice.
I want to get this issue now. I told Dan Jurgens he did one early on in his career. And then he did a lot of Superman stuff. I said, you need to do more Batman, and he never did. But well, apparently he got around to it here and had a great embellisher.
That third panel, that headshot of Batman is fucking spectacular.
Yeah, just the way it's laid out.
Oh, I mean, you can even see the 5 o'clock shadow on his chin, Yeah, so good. Nice.
Well, that's the difference between an inker and an embellisher, right?
I guess
an inker just kind of inks the. At least that's what Glenn said today.
So, what would you call Bernie?
He's probably going to be an embellisher on anything that he.
I would call him.
He doesn't just straight ink. He actually brings something to the game every time he picks up a brush.
Well, he also does his own. He does all his own gray toning and everything else. I mean, it's like, with just hatch work and shit. It's like, good lord.
Can you imagine walking around the set like this, Rodney McDowell here in makeup?
Yeah. Hey, baby, you want to go grab some lunch?
Right. banana split at the local
I was just gonna say, I know a little fruit market around the corner.
There you go. You're a real swinger, I can tell.
Bam.
Speaking of Bernie Wrightson,
Rex lands it like a dart.
I've shown you this before, but yeah, that's Bernie Wrightson there.
Oh yeah,
daily Bernie Wrightson for you people.
Yeah, that's from the Frankenstein book.
Frankenstein, yeah. There he's
dude. I mean, look at the light and the shadow, the wood tone, the grain of the wood.
And the hay, all that.
Look at the fucking hay, dude. Oh my god.
And the hatching behind him, the wall behind him, the hatching.
Yeah. My god, dude. Can you imagine how long it took him just to draw that hay?
That's why he never finished the project, right?
I guess, bro. He was fucking putting every bit of energy onto every image, man. That's insane.
Probably every spare moment he was working on that,
Well, I mean, I guess, did they end up putting it out after he died, or? Because, I mean, the copy I've got seemed like it finished. It told the whole story.
I think that Kelly Jones helped complete it, is what I've heard.
Oh, okay. So they had to have somebody else come in and finish up the art duties.
Because he had passed away before.
I didn't realize that he passed away before it came out. Yeah, I didn't know.
I don't know the story behind that, to tell you the truth. This is Michael Allred and George Cox III, Madman in the Fantastic Four, but I'm not really looking at Madman in this. I'm looking at Aaron Lopresti Sludge.
Wait, what is that? What? Oh, look, there's Madman. Wait,
yeah, but there's Sludge.
Is that the blue one?
Sludge.
No, wait. The blue guy is Sludge?
Yeah, I would say, wouldn't you?
Okay. I've never seen him in color, Rex. I didn't know he was blue.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Didn't know that Sludge was blue. I don't have any.
Yeah, he's blue. Yeah. I thought you had some Sludge back in the day.
No, I missed all of them.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know how. Cause
well,
I'll
have to look at my collection and see if I've got any extras, and I'll send them to you.
Oh, sweet, brother. Cool.
Yeah. Here's another shot that I,
You still got a bunch of stuff you got to send me at some point, but we're not rushing that.
Right.
Look, that is a hell of a robe, dude. Check that thing.
It was the 70s. It was the swinging 70s by that.
Check out my psychedelic robe, baby. I'm naked underneath.
Yeah, that was the third movie when they were astronauts.
Oh yeah.
And they kind of put them up in a motel till they turned against them.
Right. Yeah. Is that the one killing them at the end?
Actually hunted them down and killed them.
Yeah, that's at the end of the movie. They end up shooting them both, don't they? And then everybody thought the baby died, but the baby lived.
And in his makeup, remember, before he falls off the ship or to his death, he's like, doing this breathing thing, and you can see the makeup, but just how well it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He really.
They did a great job on that. I mean, those movies.
Oh, I way prefer it than the new movies.
The new ones are cool with the CGI and what have you. I mean, it looks a lot smoother, but those you can't beat those old movies, man. I'm sorry. It's just they're too good.
To me, there's no comparison, really.
Yeah. Like when they're riding the horses and shit, what's his name? General
Orca.
Orko, whatever his fucking name is.
Orko, or whatever,
They all come sweeping in on the horses with the carbines in their hands and shit. And it's just good stuff, man.
You talking the first movie where?
Yeah, like the first one when they come out and they because they end up catching the two astronauts with the natives, right? They just happen to come across them.
Yeah, I mean, shot the one. I mean, caught him in the
Oh
back
yeah,
of the head.
they killed the
They
one guy right away.
lobotomized the other guy.
Oh fuck, that's
He
right.
had a
I
big
forgot about
circular scar on his forehead and a shave
that.
spot. Yeah,
Yeah, because
yeah.
they wanted to calm him down or something, right? So, uh,
Uh,
great.
brutal. Yeah, I mean, he escapes to the museum, and his friends already stuffed and put in the museum. And he's got those white blank eyes, horrifying. You know, yeah, it's hard to beat those movies with the actual, you know. Here's your Silver Surfer. That's cool. Look at that.
Oh, that's cool.
Following
It almost looks like
the
your
rhythm of
Momentum logo there, Rex.
Yeah. Following the rhythm of the universe there. Pulse,
I can feel your heartbeat.
Mm-mm.
That's not right.
Mm-mm.
Or was it? What was that? Neil Diamond did the song Heartbeat? I think it was for E.T. or some shit. Or Heart Light. That's what it was. Heart Light. Not
I gotta be honest. Back in the day, I thought Neil Diamond was a square, and I didn't really listen to a lot of his stuff unless it was on the radio. Just saying.
You didn't like Cracklin' Rosie? Sweet Caroline?
Not as well as Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, he was a little cheesy.
He was a lot cheese. It was Limburger. Yeah, he
was double dipped, but whatever. It's all good.
Yeah. Well, he sold millions and millions of records and popular with a certain set, kind of like the people that like the Carpenters.
Yeah, or
right?
like the older ladies that all loved Elvis. It was kind of one of those.
And you really couldn't call it not mainstream, but it's not what everybody was listening to. Like John Denver, he's a sort of an acquired taste.
Here's your perfect example, right? And you probably haven't even thought about this in 20 years. This motherfucker was popular, top of the charts, selling out fucking stadiums back in the 90s. Kenny fucking G.
Who was it?
Kenny G. Remember that fucking piece of shit? He didn't even sing. He just played a fucking horn.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
I think he played like clarinet or something.
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely... Yeah.
But he had a huge fan base back in the day, dude. He used to sell out like crazy big places. The girls all liked his long hair. Now he's still got the long hair, but he's bald on top. It's hilarious. He looks like Gallagher.
All right, here you go. The dog is saying, I was extremely drunk that day. Yeah, you got to be, to chase after a rhino. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you got to be extremely drunk to chase after a rhino. And, rhinos are fast, but their eyesight is poor. Very poor. And I kind of know how to avoid a rhino, but I don't, intend on really getting around a rhino. So, I don't think, and I know how to kind of capture, get away from baboons, I've been told how to kill a baboon, but I don't want to get around baboons, these mandrills that have these big incising teeth whatsoever. Forget that. Oh, this is a nice piece of Iron Man if you're an Iron Man fan. Yeah. Although that hand's a little wonky. That thumb and everything, if you look at it, that's of course that's an older piece by this artist, about 10 years old. But yeah, that hand's definitely wonky. Nobody's got a thumb like that. Other than that, very nice piece. Frankenstein Alive. I have 4 issues signed. Bernie was prolific, yeah. He could never finish, not Frankenstein. He just kept creating after his 3 portfolios. So was that stuff, I guess, was released, LZ, as portfolio stuff, I guess. And then, I know Pacific Comics was like the world of Bernie Wrightson and had, some of that Frankenstein stuff in it. That's when I first became aware of it. So I guess LZ is saying out in the chat that the Bernie Wrightson Frankenstein stuff was released in like portfolios in the 70s. But the first that I ever saw was the Pacific Comics in the early 80s.
Was that the first one that like collected them all together
into a comic book format? Yeah, okay. I think so. Yeah. It was all new to me, but it was all old stuff just being repackaged and put it into books.
Oh, dude, I've seen images and things over the years, and every time I came across one, like in a comic book shop or something, I didn't have the money for that thing. It's just like, it looks like that's one of them ones I'm never gonna own.
Yeah.
And, yeah. Oh, dude, I forgot to tell you, I got my package in from Pizza Matty yesterday. Issues 1 through 9 of King Cryptid, and they all came signed. I didn't even know he was going to sign.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you got the catch-up tier, and have you backed the latest campaign?
Not yet. I'm gonna probably back that one next week.
Yeah, that's got like 4 issues on it, doesn't it? On that campaign,
I think it's 10 through 13. Yeah. So okay. Yeah, 4 issues.
Man, you are going to be a happy camper when you get not the King Cryptid, but the Mighty Mascot Brawlers.
Oh, bro, I can't wait until that shows up. I got
Billy Power Max in the house. Hello, Billy.
Yeah, I bought the figure set and everything, so I maxed out on.
Well, I mean, they look great.
Yeah, and I got the limited issue of the little alien guy. Is going to be glow in the dark. So, like, you had to buy the whole set.
Yeah, if you buy the whole set, you get the Mondo glow in the dark free.
Yep, that's his name. I couldn't think of his name. Mondo.
Mondo. Yeah.
But he was like, you remember Quisp cereal from back in the day with the little alien with the spinner on his head? I think that's where Keith got the idea for that character.
Oh, yeah. Quisp cereal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quisp has been out a long time, but you can't hardly find it anywhere. And
they
right now, they just kind of... Huh?
They still make it?
You know how it is with cereals. Like last Christmas, I saw them do Fruity Brute and some of those old, that
was last month. Yeah, they always do that around Halloween with the monster cereal.
Yeah. They'll bring them back for a short period. Yeah, they do that with Quiz.
It was either last year or the year before they launched a new character for the monster cereal. It was a girl. And
I can't remember what it was.
Her cereal was caramel apple flavored. It was pretty good.
If you like processed sugar,
I don't eat cereal very often anymore, but I had to buy a box for the kids, and I'm like, I gotta try it. It's a new flavor. I gotta try it.
People getting their issues of Core Draft, they're in fulfillment right now.
Woohoo!
Del A in the house. Hey, how is Core Draft number 2? Well, it is being sent out to people, so it's
cool. Yeah,
on its way out to people. Yeah. Anyway, what are you going to be doing for dinner tonight?
I
Any
don't
idea?
know. Mama's working till 7. The marketing director just left earlier to go spend the weekend at her dad's house. So it's just me,
Oh.
Mama, and Baby Hawk today. So I don't know what we're gonna do yet.
Now is Baby Hawk out on spring break?
Yeah, she's on. The last 2 nights she had her little friends spend the fucking night.
Well,
I
how
hardly got
long do
any.
they get spring break? How long
They
is
get
it?
it's like a week and 2 days or something. She got
I
um.
don't think we ever got that when we were kids. Not a
I
week and
think
2 days,
last Friday was her.
maybe. Well, I think we might have got
Yeah,
5.
last Friday
Yeah.
was her last day of school. Then she got Saturday, Sunday, all week until today, and then she's off for the weekend again. And I think she go. I want to say she goes back Tuesday, and I don't know why. It's supposed to be like some kind of the teachers are having important meetings or some crap, so they're giving the kids a day off school. I don't
Yeah,
understand it.
they do that. They have like, well, this
Yeah,
is
they have like
in-service
teachers thing.
day or
Yeah.
something. Yeah, I know with LZ it was like that for a long time.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, they still do that every once in a while. So I think they get an extra day on Monday and then they go back on Tuesday. So that's
If you
actually a
did,
pretty good. I mean, that's 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 days, 10, 11 days. You could actually take a vacation.
if you didn't see my earlier show with Glenn Fleming, go back and check it out. It's got a lot of great stuff in there. We talk a lot about Kirby, a lot about comics, a lot about the different books that he's produced, which has
Hmm.
been a very. I saw books that I didn't even know that he had written and done. I knew
Yeah,
he
no,
did a
that's cool.
soccer book last year. I'd never seen the cover to it. Turns out he did. That's his second book on soccer. He did one like 20 years ago. So
Oh, wow.
it's definitely worth a watch. Already got great views on it. Everybody that's already watched a portion of it when we were live, thank you. But it's if you haven't, there's a lot of nice nuggets in there, especially when it comes to Kirby. I asked him about Roz Kirby and inking, and he wouldn't give away that secret because Roz Kirby sworn him to secrecy, not to ever tell why
Oh, wow.
she kind of inked his Challenger the Unknown. But I still dug. You know how I get the pick and shovel and I ask the hard questions. I don't ask the easy soft sell questions, and I think some people kind of appreciate that. Some feel like they've been barbecued or grilled. So, but I think he really appreciated it, and had a good time. So, and hence he stayed like almost, an hour more than what we had kind of slated to do. So you get caught up in it, that's a good conversation you kind of get caught up in and you don't mind, you know, doing it. So I
Right.
think we had a lot of fun. At least he told me he did. So anyway, go check that out. That's up on the channel. Tomorrow we'll do the Rex Hex and Apex show here on
Mhm.
this channel. Our special guest, Omer Glitch, tomorrow, and Timothy Truman. I did it again. Timothy Olsen will be popping in for about 10 minutes to give us the latest on Melvin. And of course, the 4 o'clock shadow. And we will have later at 8 p.m. I will be co-hosting with Apex over on his channel with Apex After Dark, and we are going to. He wanted to draw, so we'll probably be drawing.
Oh, okay.
I think he had a specific thing. I can't remember right now because I've had a
Well, that's a
long
little
day
different,
already.
doesn't? Yeah, it doesn't. Apex usually has to tries to have a guest. I mean, so that's a little different. Change it up a
Yeah,
bit.
Dale, that's probably where I got it. And Dale, we're gonna have to get you on. I keep saying that, and if you need a special time, or maybe on the weekend like you suggested, let's set it up, Dale. Let's don't procrastinate it. You seem like an interesting guy, and I know Dale from over on the Hump Day show, which I skipped this week because I had to drive to Memphis the next day, and I'm glad I did rest
Driving to
because
Memphis.
yeah. So Memphis Thursday and up early to interview Glenn. When will Rex get some rest? Not tomorrow, that's for sure. After this show, definitely. Maybe this weekend. Good. Let me know, Dale. Let me know. You're on X, I believe. Yeah. If not, you're in our group. So we badmouth Rex while he was gone. Yeah, I heard you. I
PBR
got
speaking.
knives out for each and one of you.
Tomorrow at noon Central Standard Time. It's every Saturday at noon Central Standard.
Central, right?
I'll be doing a
So
comic
we
book
kind of
review.
overlap our shows if we do the Rex. But
Yeah.
since I'm controlling this one, we will cut it to an hour, and I will be bop over there to your show.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool.
Yeah, because I have control of it, and there's
All
no
right, well,
really
I'll make sure I send you the
reason it
link
should
then,
go.
because I didn't know if I should bother or not if you were going to be over there.
There's no reason why we should go over an hour, really. Ever, really.
I don't know. We do 2 hours.
We
every
don't
night,
have a
right?
set time with it, you know. Anyway, and I know Hex has set up Tom Tuttle for his
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Yeah,
he's already
I want to get a chance
and schedule somebody.
Yeah, I don't think I've had a chance to talk to Tom yet. I know I've seen him in the chats. I didn't even know he had a project until he launched, dude. It's not like he even said anything about it until he was ready to fucking put that thing out there. I never saw him.
And tell us which book you'll be reviewing tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow it will be Beyond the Stars from Silverline Comics and Roland Mann, good friend of the show. Okay. I'll have to update you on who the artist and writer and all that is on this particular issue. But Roland is the publisher of
Well, Omer was bragging on your new setup and that he thought that last week's show looked very nice.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Omer. I'm glad you liked it, man. I'm getting used to it. So
yeah, I
think I've gotten it to a point where I can actually do this without too much of having to crane my neck around and do all kinds of crazy things so I can still see the book while I'm trying to fucking show it on the screen. It's it's interesting.
You want to see me juggle?
There you go.
That's about it. One ball.
That's the start. That's how you start.
And this is a heavy golf ball. That's that golf ball I dug up out of my yard.
Oh,
and
that's how you start juggling, dude. You start with one, and then you go to two, and then when you get that third one in there, now you're juggling.
Dance, monkey dance. No.
Hey, Edwin, what's up,
We'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for showing up.
Hello. Have a good night.
One of my favorite quotes from Tombstone. Well, bye.